Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Self Improvement for Women. I am your host, Hope Long, and I have a very special guest today. I have Marnie Wills with us, and she's amazing. She's a serial entrepreneur, she's a health, fitness, and wellness coach, an international athlete, which is amazing, and a mother of two. Marnie, I'm so glad that you've joined us today.
Oh, thanks, Hope. It's so good to be here. I'm really looking forward to today.
Yes. So serial entrepreneur, we hear that a lot. What does this mean for you? Like what does this journey look like that you've been on?
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. I'll start with a bit of confession and say serial entrepreneur could actually also probably be called an entrepreneur with the shiny object syndrome. That could potentially be me. So hopefully if there's any of your listeners out there that might have the same, I'm not going to call it a problem, but, maybe on the same page, they might resonate with where I'm coming from. So I'm originally from Australia, but I now live in the UK. I have always had more than one job. Going all the way through, including uni. I graduated with a teaching degree and a health science degree. Moved over to the UK, started teaching secondary school over here, PE and science. Wasn't quite happy with that, so I also dipped into teaching some primary school, some swim teaching. I used my personal training qualifications as well, so I was always doing lots on the side. I started getting into sports coaching for my two main sports, which is netball and a version of rugby called touch rugby. And yeah, I decided in, I think it was 2000 and, maybe 2013, that I wanted to pursue my athlete career a little bit more. I was lucky enough to be playing netball for England as well as touch rugby for England, so dual international athlete at the time. And I was really struggling to get time off to train and compete. So I decided to quit my teaching career and just do whatever I could with my sports coaching, my personal training. And that's where the journey begun. And starting one business wasn't enough, so I started two at the same time. And I've had those two businesses ever since. My Sporty Minis business, so we deliver early years physical education programs to early years, so from 12 months all the way through to 7 years. I built that up in London, and we're now franchising out, which is amazing. So we have a few franchisees, which is fantastic, and a real, I get a real proud spark about myself when I think about the legacy I've left for my children, and the ability to create a business for other people, all from just loving teaching sport and loving working with kids. And that definitely, is a big proud moment for myself. But I think my passion really, really lies in my health and fitness and wellness business, which is called Sports Fit, because we were always playing sport and we needed to be fit. I've since started a holistic mindset coaching qualification to assist with the wellness aspect, and as well as a strength and conditioning qualification as well. So I guess serial entrepreneur is my journey to do my two passions, working with kids for physical education and the health, fitness and wellness industry.
I love it. I love it. You're a busy woman. So, and I think that a lot of the entrepreneurs, a lot of the ladies in the audience that are watching can relate to having multiple passions. And in their business journeys, probably, I know for me, like I have a lot of passion and I like to go all in on something, right? And then like 2 or 3 months down the road, I get another idea, but it's not quite aligned with what I was already doing. So then I got this little side project going on and it's difficult sometimes to put your attention where it needs to be the most in order to grow your business. And I think that being a serial entrepreneur, you probably have a lot of experience with this, particularly in the accountability area. So when you were building your business for teaching kids the fitness and teaching kids the wellness and all of that, did you already have your your wellness coaching done with that as well, or was that the beginning?
So I don't know how it really happened, but I ended up launching both at the same time.
At the exact same time. So
Yeah.
how did you know like where to put your energy, like at the right time to keep growing those businesses successfully?
Yeah. I don't quite know the answer to that, but I do know that I've always seen my early years sports program and that side of my business as a bit of my bread and butter, like, and a bit of my exit strategy. Like that's kind of my career, right? Like I was a teacher, so it was always my career. And I guess I just added on a bit of sports coaching and created my own early years program, and business as such. And I guess my personal training, my my passion for health, fitness, and wellness, for those, I always attract women. So for the women that love their sport, love their gym, or generally just want to get better, I always seem to attract them. And I guess I always just had things on the side. And then sometimes my Sporty Minis business will go through a big growth phase, and that will take a lot of my attention. Other times it just ticks over. And then with my Sports Fit business, sometimes, it's just working with what I've got. And then other times I'll launch a new program or a new strength conditioning, whoever I'm working with. So to answer your question, I'm not 100% sure, but I guess the one thing that I have really felt that I have worked hard on, and I like to share with other entrepreneurs now, is like a 90-day cycle. Like, get into my head, what are my 90-day goals? And I think it's really important here to add that I always just used to have my business goals, right? 90-day business goals. But I went through these constant cycles of burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Never added my own health, fitness, and wellness goals to that 90-day plan. But as entrepreneurs, we are our business. So if we don't look after ourselves, our business is not going to grow. Your businesses generally only grow as much as you grow as a person, as much as you look after yourself. Obviously, it's a little bit different depending on how big your business are and so forth. But, talking quite generally about myself and my entrepreneurial journey, my businesses have only grown when I've invested in myself, not just investing in personal and self-improvement or business coaching, but I've really taken care of myself over a 90-day, in my 90-day cycles, like I like to call it. And when I'm planning my 90 days, normally through quarters, where I started Q2 now when recording this, I would put in my quarter goals. I would break that into my 3 monthly goals for each month. Then I would break that in every Sunday. I break that down into what I need to get done that week. And in that week, I do my 3 top health focuses. I call them healthy habits for that week. So this week, as an example, and I'm working with some clients on this, we're talking about journaling and planning ahead. So every night we jump in our group and we plan our food that we want to eat. Now, no one in my group is on a diet, but the fact that I write down my food that I want to eat today, last night, I'm telling my subconscious, when I start to feel hungry and the hormone ghrelin is produced, and it basically triggers my subconscious to like all of the things that I shouldn't eat, like lots of treats, lots of bread. That is something what I think about straight away when I'm hungry, but because I'd already written down and shared what I was planning to eat today, when I get hungry, I'm like, oh, and that's okay. My snack's coming up, and this is what I'm going to eat. And I'm not on any diet, but I knew this week, and this is a reason why I made it a priority, is it was going to be a really stressful week. I am weaning my daughter on the bottle, and I get quite stressed about that stuff. So I knew it would be stressful. So that is why I made it a healthy habit this week to plan every 24 hours what I'm going to eat. And many entrepreneurs are very success driven and tick box, right? Well, I'm very much a tick box person. So tonight, when I go back and I plan tomorrow's food, I'm going to put like a little green tick for what I ate today. And that's going to be like this huge sense of achievement for me. And that will will carry me on throughout the week, and link that to my business goals that I needed to achieve this week. And it's not, when I plan my business goals, and I'm sure, hope you're the same, for me, it's not about the admin tasks, it's what's going to move my business forward, like business needle moving. I can't remember what I call it, but you know, what's going to move the needle forward in my business. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, and for people watching, so these healthy little habits that we establish, just, and even like the minute stuff, just planning your next 24 hours, what you're going to eat, just having that frame of mind that you already know what's going to happen, and you're just confirming it to yourself when you're taking those actions. That is so, so important, because it makes you feel like a success. It seems really silly, but it's like confirmation that you're successful because you did this one little thing. And so your subconscious and your brain tells you, good job, you're on it, and it makes you feel more put together, right? So yeah, so you take 3 things, and they are things that move the needle in your business. And moving the needle in your business, if you guys don't know what that means, it's like Marnie said, it is not doing like admin tasks and like social media, like I don't want to say planning, but it is those things, but it's not. Like your needle moving stuff is jumping on that sales call, offering your offer, signing deals, doing collaborations with people, like it's when you're launching your thing, right? That's moving the needle. Planning is part of it, but that is not like the actual tick, right? So when it comes to that and doing those things, who is holding you accountable? That is what we need to talk about, because as women, we hold our children accountable to eat their greens, to brush their teeth, to do their things, right? And as wives, we hold our partners accountable for, whatever they're doing in their life to help them succeed, because we are supportive partners. And it even boils down to like family stuff. We are really good at understanding how to hold people accountable. But when it comes to holding ourselves accountable and making sure that we're checking our ticks and moving the needle and doing those things, it's not always easy, because sometimes we want to feel bad for ourselves or take a break. And it's a very tricky subject, because it is okay to take breaks and it is okay to be gentle with yourself. But you've also got to be a hard ass with yourself sometimes. Like, this is what it's got to be. If you don't do this, what is it going to cost me later, right?
Yeah.
So Marnie, let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about accountability for you, like in your business. What does that look like?
Oh, yes. So I love accountability buddies, and I have a few of them. So I'll have like a lady I work with who we call each other our business besties, and we love a voice note on WhatsApp, and we check in a couple of times a week. And we'll sometimes talk about our goals, sometimes we'll just vent, other times we'll stroke our own ego, right? Like, that is needed a lot in business, because I find I am a type of person who does a couple of things which can be quite toxic and puts me on that burnout cycle I was talking about. And one of them is that a part of me doesn't always acknowledge my achievements. And it doesn't acknowledge when I get there and I go, oh, great, I've ticked that. I've got to that point in my business. Now I need to do X, Y, Z, instead of coming back and going, that is so awesome, I actually did that. So with my franchising, I actually got my first 2 franchises. Amazing, Marnie. Go away and celebrate that. Go away and tell people, get an ego boost from that. But instead, what did I do? I put my next targets down. I want my next 4, and this is how I'm going to do it. And I didn't stop and think at all, until one of my accountability buddies said, this is amazing, go and post about it on LinkedIn just as a cheer for yourself and see what happens. And she made me do that. And I think I needed that for my personality, because I am constantly comparing myself. I don't really compare myself to others, and I know that, you know, the entrepreneurial journey, lots of people do, and that's okay, and lots of people just compare to themselves. For me, I compare my old self to my now self to my future self, and I'm always going, oh, but you know, back before kids I had so much energy and I achieved boom boom boom, whereas now I'm not quite there, but I really want to get to, you know, my exit strategy of not owning any regions, instead franchising out, or I want to get all online with my sports fit business. So like, I definitely compare too much, you know, and I don't stop and celebrate. So I need accountability buddies to do that. I work with quite a few different coaches. So I have my own strength and conditioning program that I follow through my sport, but I am in my postpartum journey, so I'm only almost 23 weeks postpartum, so it's a little bit different. But I have strength and conditioning, and I have personal training programs that I bought from other, you know, experts in the field, because, you know, you don't know what you don't know, one. Two, if you are developing as a person, you're going to be better for your clients. And, you know, three, like sometimes just having some inspiration from somewhere else gives you your creativity. And I absolutely love working with other experts in the field as well. I have a mindset coach that I work with. I'm part of a few like coaching mentoring ships. I'm part of a YouTube video strategy academy. I've got an online coaching membership I'm a part of. What else? I'm in a Facebook ads and funnels group membership. So, you know, that's where I get my accountability. I will be honest, quite a few times, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. And I think everybody has overwhelm, comes in different forms for different people. And, you know, like you said earlier, Hope, around, you know, every 3 months a new idea will pop in your head, and it's like you're trying to do it on the side and you're trying to work out how it fits into your current vision, and do you want to go off path, and is it all still aligned, and it just spins over and over in your head, doesn't it? But I believe working with either accountability coach or generally part of a group that have some similarities aligned. So my accountability group that we work with at the moment is full of all different people, some entrepreneurs, some not, but we have one focus, and it is around our healthy habits for each week. And that takes some of the overwhelm for people, you know, so just having one focus or one area. So you don't need an accountability, or you know, you might have several accountability buddies, is what I'm trying to say, or different programs, because it will stop overwhelming one area for you.
So there's different ways to make sure that you're being held accountable, aside from beating yourself up. Like, that is not what we do, right? But we put ourselves in groups or in social circles where you're building each other up. Like, that is what Everyday Woman TV is about. We are building each other up. We are a group of women that desire success and friendship and connection. And, you know, it's so, in a world where it's very difficult sometimes to get ahead, because the next person is always trying, like, usually sometimes trying to like bring you down. It's so important, your social circle and who you surround yourself with. They're going to hold you accountable. You're going to tell that person your goal, and they're going to ask you about it in 2 weeks. And when they do, you want to make sure that you're like, oh yeah, I did do that. Or so that you don't have to say, well, I put it on the back burner, and then you'll feel guilty all over again. And that is why accountability is so important. Like for me, I'm also, sorry, go ahead.
I was just about to say, I think also what I've found really beneficial with it, in terms of who I work with, in terms of accountability for my, you know, for me as a person, but also for my business, is that time to reflect. You know, like, we hear it often, you know, entrepreneurs and marketing, right? You hear so you go, oh, organic marketing didn't work for me, or I tried Facebook ads and it didn't work, or I did this launch and it didn't work. But I feel like if you don't do it for long enough, you don't get the data to work out why it doesn't work. And if you don't have somebody you're working with, or even, you know, reporting into, and we've reported into people our whole lives, from our parents to our teachers to our bosses to our partners, right? You know, if we're not actually checking in and reporting back, we don't actually take the reflection time. So it might only be a little tweak that we need in different aspects to make it work, but we don't take time to reflect because we don't find somebody to be accountable to.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's all connected. There's an excellent graphic on the internet, and it's this guy and he's digging in dirt. Right. And then like he's getting to the dirt. Right. And he's right there and it's this far away and there's a pile of gold, but he gives up. He could just quits. And then the next guy comes in and digs and he's like, oh my gosh, this is great. And it's just, and it's really that simple. It's, you're always like 2 or 3 inches just from the big breakthrough. And if you can just hold out a little bit longer and keep doing the things and reevaluating, you're going to grow in the direction you want to grow, right? And with the growth, we talked a little bit previously on some power habits that we can work on for energy and confidence and productivity. And I know that my audience is going to love that because we're all like so driven and ambitious women. So yes, I'll let you kind of take this away. This is your area of expertise.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, I'll try and not babble for too long because I love it. I could talk about it all so much. I'm gonna start with probably the most obvious is sleep. Now, I'm obviously got a new baby, so my sleep hasn't been that great. However, what I have done with my sleep habit is control the controllables. And what I can control, and there are obviously in the entrepreneurial journey, there are times where there's things out of your control, whether that's family, whether that's working 2 jobs, whether that's, you know, you're at a launch, you know, there's lots of things that will affect it. You're not going to have the same sleep pattern, the same amount of sleep all day, every day for your whole life. It's just not going to happen, but you can control the controllables. And that's things like planning your bedtime routine so that you can get into a deeper sleep quicker. Mm-hmm. You know, journaling before you go to bed to take everything off your mind so that you can, I guess, switch off much quicker. You can use sleep meditation, sleep hypnosis. You could change your sleeping environment, kick out the snorer, you know, that type of thing. And there's so many apps out there that you can record your sleep. And it's important to note what type of sleep you got, because that is going to do lots of triggers for the next day. So if you're super tired, you're probably going to be craving lots of sugar, lots of coffee. You're going to be quite emotional with any decisions you make. You might be quite snappy. You could be really hard on yourself. Or it could be, I'm hiding under the duvet watching Netflix day because I'm so exhausted, right? And then you go, oh, I failed as an entrepreneur, or, you know, I'm just burnt out. But actually, it is just because you haven't been taking note of the type of sleep you've been getting. And a lot of the time, it just takes that awareness of your sleep, and that 1% change every night over a year is 365% improvement in your sleep. Yeah. And sleep so important for brain function, brain memory, for weight loss, or even weight maintaining, you know, our hormones. I mean, the list goes on.
Right.
But for a woman, you know, the most important thing for us in sleep is to identify what type of sleep we've got so that we know how to take care of ourselves for the next couple of days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I never thought about it until I hit my 30s, because in your 20s, you're so go, 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 go. Everything's great. I'm fine. I can stay up all night and then wake up at 6 o'clock and go to work. I'm fine. That is not the case when you get older. And I'm sure the people in our audience understand that as well for the most part. But it didn't hit me. I didn't realize that until, you know, just into my 30s. And now my boy is about 5. And I'm wishing, like, I get up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, man, can't you just sleep for another like hour? And like I get, get home and, my body is starting to ache and all these things. But I have noticed that when I have to wind down before I can sleep, right? I can't go from doing a call or doing an interview, then jump in bed and be like, okay, I'm going to go to bed now. That does not work for me. I have to like relax, and it really helps me. I do like a full body meditation where I relax every part of my body and I focus on my breath, and I drift so fast. Like I am asleep in like 4 minutes, and it's deep. It's like a heavy, deep sleep. And I wake up and I feel awesome. So like if I don't do that meditation, and if I don't like take the time to relax my body and my mind, I don't sleep worth anything. I'm tossing, I'm turning, and that just makes for a terrible day the next day. And
Yeah,
you're right, I'll be chugging coffee all day long.
yeah.
um,
Leads me on to my next power habit for us very busy, mind going crazy entrepreneurs. I mean, crazy in a good way, is hydration. Like it sounds so simple. And when people think hydration, they go, oh, 2 liters of water or 8 glasses. Like, yeah, that's an element of it. But the hydration also needs to be think about like, what type of coffee or tea are you drinking, your sugary drinks, alcohol, all of those are going to affect you. Now, I'm not saying again that, your body's a temple and you need to look after it 365 days a year and, you should have no body fat percentage on you. I'm not talking about any of that at all. I clearly want to highlight the importance of us treating our bodies like a high performing athlete, because entrepreneurial women are high performers, whether that is in business, in life, in sport. We are high performers, and to be high performers we have to refuel and hydrate our bodies. So it only takes a little check in with yourself around your hydration. Get into healthy habits, like have a bottle with you all the time. I know it sounds so silly, but I actually have an alarm on my phone at 11 and 3 that goes off. And as soon as it goes off, I'm like, oh, and I check my water. And if I'm not really feeling it, I feel like something's sweet, I grab a herbal tea, right? I do have my coffees, but I have a little coffee tick thing up here behind me, because I love my coffee as well. I've had 2 today. I'm now on a tea. So I've got to put that on there, my little dash. And I've got to go, oh, okay, could I have taken one of them out? Or why did I feel like I needed that? Because they're not bad for you. You just have to be aware of how much you're taking in. If I'm drinking more coffee, I'm drinking less water. If I'm drinking less water and I'm not hydrating myself, my performance goes down 12%. There's research around that. 12% is your cognitive reactions, decision making. You are down if you are dehydrated. So that 12% could be the difference between a sale or not a sale. It could be the difference between a productive day and not a productive day. And not a productive day, does that spiral you into a week of feeling rubbish? And then that week you go, oh, I've got to catch up on that week, and you don't post anything on socials, and you don't create a pipeline, or you don't do that coaching course you did, and then you're 2 weeks behind, all because you didn't monitor your water. It's so crazy, so
that
simple.
is insane.
Yeah,
That is a crazy statistic. Like
yeah.
I never would have thought that.
Mm-hmm.
That is fascinating.
When I was an England indoor netball athlete, we went to a tournament and we had to do a wee pot 3 times a day, and we had to send a picture to our strength and conditioning team, and that wee pot showed the color, right, of our urine. Dark, dehydrated. Like if you had a dark pot, you weren't taking the court for the game, because you would not be performing at 100%. You would be lacking in performance. You would be 12% less. If you had a middle, your game time might be taken off you. Like the team would look at you at how you were warming up, and if you were warming up a bit sluggish, or if you didn't up your water, you were probably not getting much game time at all. Like, you had to be in a certain color of urine to know that the coach knew from the strength and conditioning team that you were hydrated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, you're right. You're so right. Like me, okay, I'm not an international athlete, but I do consider myself high performing. I get a lot of things done in my business. I move the needle in my business every single day. I wake up and start to work, right? I jump right on top of things. I get excited about these things. I'm like very high energy. And so that is, I would never have thought, but that is a really important equivalent. And even mentally, like high performance mentally is the same as a high performance athlete. It's your reaction time, your response, that is just amazing. That blows my mind. My mind just so yes. So power habits, get your sleep, get your water. Give us one more.
Only one? Oh, okay. I'm going to give you one more. But I just want to add in, and you might want to add in after, because you seem to definitely love your meditation. So I'm not going to talk about mindfulness, but I think mindfulness is really important because that gives us our creativity. So it is a power habit, but I won't talk about it, but keep that in mind. The other power habit then is moving our body. And I somehow attract entrepreneurs who have come to me and they say, I used to do running, hiking, biking, and then now I just like to do yoga, and they think, and I just want to get fit. And I always go back and say, how do you move your body during the day? And they'll tell me how they move their body during the day, and my feedback is, great, what extra can we do now for the next week? And we only add little bits of extra movement each time. They think they're coming to me, being a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach, wanting a big plan, and I'm going to make them go out and run 5K, but I'm not at all, because if you don't enjoy it, or if it's hard, you won't carry on.
Mm-hmm.
But just adding a little bit extra movement in terms of maybe an extra 5 minutes in their yoga, maybe they are going to increase or start a walk, maybe they're just doing a mobility stretch, like a morning stretch that they've moved their body. There's this principle called NEAT, which is how much energy it takes your body to have your body function, that doesn't include eating or exercise. So just for your organs to work and your brain to function. And the more we can increase our NEAT, the amount of way we move our body, the more we're going to increase our metabolic rate anyway. Mm-hmm. So of entrepreneurial women who are high performers and who have lots going on, their cortisol levels are probably already super stressed, right? And if I go and add a high intensity workout to that is probably going to make things a lot worse for them. They're not going to be able to calm down. Their body's going to be more exhausted. Where we start is simply adding more movement to their day. And then from there, they start to feel better. They get more confidence. And then we go, okay, what exercise do you enjoy? Let's see what we can add in for you, because you're never going to stick to any type of exercise regime unless you enjoy it. And some, high performers go through life just walking. They don't need to exercise. There's so many books out there, the 5 a.m. club, the 6 a.m. club, get up and exercise and get on your Peloton and do this. And that's great. And that will suit loads of people. I mean, hell, that was me for a long time, but it doesn't suit everybody. It doesn't have to suit everybody. The bottom line is we are not made to sit down all day. So find ways to move your body. Moving your body will increase your heart rate. It will increase your blood flow. The more serotonin or endorphins, so that happy stuff that goes through to your brain, the more that's going to help you make your good business decisions and feel productive and really feel like a high performer. So my third power habit is move your body.
Yes I love it. And I think I'm on board with this. I will say, and I feel like I'm not the only one, but exercise to me, like I'm pretty petite in general. I don't need to really lose any weight. I've got a good BMI. I'm in my ideal weight, but I'm not healthy, right? I'm not as healthy as I could be. And I think that one of the things that I struggled with the most is I didn't want to wake up and go for a run at 5 a.m., like you said, 4 or 5 miles, and then come back and then start my day. That was already, just the thought of it was exhausting. I was like, oh no, that is not for me. And what I found is, I take my shower in the morning, I stretch while I'm in the shower, and that like gets me going where I'm like, okay. And then I will do like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of stretching and yoga. That's it. And that is good for me. And then I get outside and I play with my kid and stuff. We do some running and stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be this crazy, like 14 rep workout where you're doing the squats and you're lifting the bell like you're doing all these things. It does not have to be like that. And for me, it's very important to me that I feel relaxed and not like I don't like the heart beating out of my chest feeling. I just don't like that because I'm already like really high energy. So when I'm working out, I like want to feel like almost alleviated, that like, you know what I mean? So that yoga and just like it gets me centered to where now I'm like ready to go play outside, and then I can like have fun with my kid doing that. And but
Yeah.
I'm not totally exhausted. I don't have sweat dripping down my face. Like
Yeah. And it's about the why. Like, why do you know you need to move your body? Like, what does it do for you?
it increases everything for me. Like just I feel better throughout the day. I will consciously eat better, which is very weird. If I work out in the morning, I choose to put good stuff in my body that day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's because I started my morning off like feeling healthy. And like subconsciously, it's like, okay, it's time to have a snack. Why don't you pick up some celery? And I'm like, okay. And I don't know.
Hope is that your workout is your stretch or your yoga. Somebody else's workout is a walk or a run, or someone's might be a weightlifting session or a Peloton, or everybody's workout is so different. But this is what we have to be in tune with, is why we want to exercise, or what is that feeling we get when we exercise. And each person is individual, and once you know that, you will prioritize that, because you want to feel that, and that will trigger other things. Like you said, that will make you eat better, it will make you sleep better that same day, it will make you happier with your son, not that you wouldn't be anyway,
But
like
it does increase that serotonin.
big time.
It puts you in a good mindset. Like it really does change your mindset.
Yeah.
Marnie, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. You are a wealth of knowledge. You have amazing energy. I am so happy that you came on and you give such amazing advice. Like your guidance is like priceless. So I am so excited. You guys at home, you can follow Marnie. You can she's a real person, and I'm 100% sure that if you reached out to her with any questions, I'm sure she's going to answer you back. So reach out to her if you have any questions on, your wellness, your health, your fitness, being a serial entrepreneur, being high performing. She can definitely walk you through, how to be the best version of yourself. So thank you again. And you guys, we will see you next time.